Hey there, welcome to our course. I'm Jordan, and we're going to be learning how to create different CSS components such as buttons, cards, text animations, loader animations, menus, and a bunch of more things. Before we get started, there are a few things to keep in mind. The course is going to keep expanding until we... And how we did it is we'd record writing the source code. And then after recording that, we can play with the speed of it, and we narrate essentially what we do. So sometimes it's a little bit out of sync, or a mistake was made writing the code, and rather than start the whole video again, we just explained what the mistake was and how I fixed it in the narration. Alright, so every time you approach a different lecture or a different component, it's a great idea to try to figure out how it was made before. Our goal is to try to expand your knowledge of components and properties and how to use them and encourage creativity. And there are many different ways to reach the same results. So trying to figure them out is a great way to discover new uses for properties and components and animations and so forth and so on. Right, so one of the best ways to learn is have your text editor open and write along with me. You can control the speed of the video, pause it as much as you want. But yeah, you want to really practice doing that, and that way, the things will stick, and you'll be able to use them later on. Last but not least, we have a QA section for the course, and whatever question you may have, even if it's just how's the weather over there, we'll do our best to get back to you with an answer, hopefully within 24 hours. We are here for you. Alright then, excited to get started? Here we go. Happy learning. Hey, and welcome to this quick lesson on how to use icons from Font Awesome. What you do is you just type in Font Awesome using the version you want, 5.9.0, and that's the newest one, and you click on the link. So you got to load that into your HTML, so you click copy link tag for the version you want. You just paste that into your HTML. All right, within your head, and then in order to find, if you want to select a different version, you can select them from this menu here and load the different one. And now, say you want a certain icon, just loading. You can search the icons. Say we'll just search for a Facebook icon. And now there's free icons and there's pro icons, and we're just gonna use the free icons. And you select the icon you want, and in this newest version here, all you do is click on the link that has the class, and it copies it for you. All right, just click on that, and you paste it in your HTML wherever you want it to go. So it's class fab fa Facebook f. All right, now if you want to, and that's what it looks like. It's an icon, and you can style it like a font. Now if you want to use an older version, what you'll do is you type in Font Awesome and then type in the version you'll be using. In the course, we'll be using 4.7.0 a fair bit, and you select just the first option. Font Awesome keeps their older versions online, which is great for us. And go to icons, and you search yet again. We're going to search again for the Facebook icon, and we'll select the first one. And here, yep, you copy the class from there, and don't forget you also have to load the link, and it'll be a different link, and you paste that in, and that's how it's done. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture we're going to be working on a pure CSS text typing animation. And we'll show you how we do that. So we have our body, and we have our we have a title class for our text. CS, we're going to do a basic reset, and as I'm doing that, I'll explain what we have is we create a text box the size in our HTML, the size of our text. But we're going to make that text disappear. We're going to make it transparent. And the text you will see is text from the styling, text from the CSS. Okay, if you haven't understood that by the end of the video, watch it again or ask in our question and answer. So, defining titles, uppercase, sans serif, 5 pixel letter spacing, absolute positioning, top 50%, left 50%, just centering it really. And there you go. And transform, translate, minus 50%, minus 50% also to get that centered effect. Now we're going to take our text and we're going to put it in our pseudo element, our before element, as content. It's a pure CSS text typing animation. And we're applying all the same styling that we did to the HTML text. Uppercase, absolute. Only instead of positioning it from the beginning, we just use top 0, left 0, width 100%, and height 100%, because the text box that we already have from the HTML is the same size. Now we're going to color our text black and overflow hidden. And that's because it'll be easier to explain later. Alright, the border radius is 1 pixel solid. No. Border right. There you go. So instead of coloring the whole box, we just color the border right, and it just looks like one of those text typing flashy thingies. So for our animation, what we're gonna do is we'll call it type, and at 0% the width is 0. 50% the width is 100%, and 100% our width is back to 0. And the animation type will have a 10-second duration, infinite. Now you see that's how it looks at the moment. Just each word is revealed one at a time. And if you could see what's going on, you see that as our container becomes smaller, all our words shift down in the line, which is not good. So what we can do in order to avoid that is we just white space, no wrap. What it does is instead of wrapping our words down as the container shortens, it keeps them just in the same line, and we slowly reveal them. Now, instead of revealing it as a scroller, we want it to look like typing. So we count our letters, and we're going to reveal it in steps in our animation. So we got 30 characters, so we'll just do 30 steps. So animation type 10 seconds, steps 30, infinite, right? And then it reveals part by part. It's not actually revealing letter by letter. It's just revealing a little bit of space by a little bit of space. That's why if you look closely, you can see that some letters are cut in half. Yeah, but no, it's just a way of doing it in CSS. And if you didn't understand the white space, yeah, that's a little tricky thing. You can ask in QA or Google it quickly, because I don't want to go into that right now. All right, see you in the next lecture. All right, hey there, everybody. In this lecture, we're going to just do a text typing effect, only we're going to do it with color. All right, you get a moving color effect, a bit of glow. Cool, so what do we got going on? In our HTML, we just have a body with we're using a header 1 element, call it color type. Notice the British spelling of color that includes the U as opposed to the American spelling that does not include the U. So we're going to do a basic reset in CSS, which is a padding 0, margin 0 to all our elements after, before, and regular box sizing border box. Body, we're going to do a background black. And display flex, justify content line items center. Now our height's going to be 100 viewport height. And our background is rust color. You know, that's, yeah, exactly. So you saw what happens if you don't use the viewport height. Your text way up there. So in header 1, we're gonna position relative and text transform uppercase. Font family consolas. Letter spacing 0.1 EM. And font size 10 EM. Color transparent. So we've hidden our text. So the text is invisible and all you see is the background. So now we're going to create a pseudo element in our H1 before with our content color type. Text transform uppercase, position absolute, on top 0, left 0 as well. So we've essentially just put our before element exactly on top of the previous text that was there. Now we're going to add just a border right, a 1 pixel solid white. And that's like our typing line. There's a name for it, but I can't remember right now. White space no wrap, which means that even when our container is small, it doesn't push the text down below it. It still stays there. Like the text line exists, you just can't see it because overflow is hidden. In our background, we're going to do a linear gradient to right. Just a bunch of colors. Now we're going to use WebKit background clip text, which means that we show the background that's behind the text, but not the rest. So you won't see the linear behind everything, only where the text is transparent. Animation, we'll call it type, 6 seconds. We're going to in steps, 11 steps for one for each character and then the spaces. Here you can see a filter blur of 1 pixel as well. We're going to create an after element, pseudo element, I should say. We're just going to copy all the content and just change the blur to 60 pixels. Creates a cool blur effect. So for our animation, add 0%, 70%, 90%, and 100%. So that's 4 different stops. And we're just going to change our width. So this is for the linear gradient. It starts compressed and then widens out as we type. All right. There you go, and the steps give us the typing effect. So it's not an exact typing effect, but it works well, and it's in CSS. All right, well, okay, I didn't turn that off. Yeah, see, you can see that's why you need both overflow hidden and white space wrap. No wrap, sorry. There you go. All right. Another cool color typing effect animation in CSS. Take care. Hello again and welcome to another lecture. We're going to be doing a split screen text transition effect. Well, you can see it. And how we're going to do it, we'll have, within a section, we'll have 2 divs, and each of them with the same exact text as a H2 element. So we're going to go ahead into our CSS and perform our basic reset. Padding 0, margin 0, box sizing border box. And we're going to use for our body font family sans serif. And for section, we're going to go with position relative, width 100%, and height 100 viewpoint height. Display will be flex and our overflow hidden. Yeah, right. It's not a class. It's just a section. Okay. So we're going to style our divs with a position relative width 50% and a background color of a dark blue, like cable blue. I'm never sure. And with a hidden overflow. So each div has its own overflow hidden. Now we're going to select the first div using the nth child, and we're going to give it a background of our image. Now our background size is cover. Okay, so you can see that on the first div we have an image. Second div is just our background color. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and style our H2 elements. Position absolute top 50%. And left 50%, we're essentially centering our text. And we're going to use transform translate minus 50%, minus 50%. Okay, so our text is centered. Now we're going to say white space no wrap, which means we don't want our text wrapped. We want it all stretched across the screen. And we're going to make our font size bigger, do 12 EM. Okay, that's a bit big. Now, we're going to style our first nth child, and we're going to give it color transparent. I'm going to use WebKit text stroke to show the outline of our font, and to define that as 2 pixels. We're also going to add WebKit text stroke color as white. Okay, now we're gonna put the text from our left div exactly under the text from the right div. Oh, no, yeah, that's not gonna work because the transform translate 50% kind of screws that up. So we're just gonna use line height in order to center our text in the middle of the page. Great. So we got one text right under the other. Our transparent text, we'll just change the second nth's color to white, and then as the text on the right disappears under the left, the transparent text appears, so it looks like it's just changed over. We're going to create our animation, which at 0% is transform translate x 0, and at 100% we're going to transform translate by minus 100x, which is to the left. We're going to go ahead and add our animate. I'm going to give it a 60-second linear infinite. And we're going to add that to both our nth childs. And there you go. Now, it's 2 different texts running, but it creates the illusion of change. All right. There you go. Any questions? QA. See you next lecture. Hello there, and welcome to this lecture. Today we're going to be working on this shining text animation effect. So we have our body, we have our paragraph of text, our shining text animation effects, and that's what it looks like. Obviously, very boring. We're gonna do our basic reset. Margin 0, padding 0 on all of our elements before and after pseudo elements, and box sizing border box. And we're going to style our body. We're going to do display flex. We're going to center our object using justify content and align item center. Our height 100 viewport height, and with a background of black. Great. Fantastic. So, I'm going to style our paragraph, font family sans serif, text transform uppercase, and font size 2 EM. Letter spacing, go at 4 pixels. And we're going to hide our overflow. Background, linear gradient to right, black, white, and then, as the singer said, back to black. Now our background size is going to be 80%. and background repeat, no repeat. That prevents it from our linear from becoming a black, white, and black, and white, and black, and white. So it just keeps it as it is constant. All right. So we're doing our animate to a 3-second linear infinite, and we're going to use a WebKit background clip text. Which what it does is it shows the background behind the text, but only the background behind the text. And we've changed our text color to transparent, which is why we see the linear background behind the text. So at keyframe 0%, we are going to send our background position way over to the left, minus 500%, and at 100%, we're going to send it way over to the right, 500%. So there you go, you get that cool effect of the background moving behind our transparent text. And there you go. Pretty awesome. Take care.